What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another math puzzle. In this one, the scenario is as follows. The rectangular pool below has an area of 420 feet squared and a perimeter of 82 feet. Find the length and the width. Go ahead and hit that pause button and see if you can figure it out. When you're ready, hit play and I'll give you the explanation. So in this puzzle explanation, I'm going to give you two different ways to approach and solve this problem. The first is going to be an algebraic approach. So whenever I have two variables and two relationships, I can make something called a system of equations, meaning a system of relationships. So for example, the first relationship has to do with the area, which means the length times the width, which is how we get area of a rectangle, equals 420. The second relationship is that the perimeter, meaning 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, equals 82. That's my perimeter. Now what I'm going to do when I have a system of equations like this is I'm going to choose one of the equations. I'm going to isolate one of the variables. So I'm going to arbitrarily choose to isolate L. So I'm going to subtract 2W from both sides, right? And I get 2L equals 82 minus 2W. Last but not least, I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And I get L equals 41 minus W. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this value, since it equals L, I'm going to plug it in for L over here. Now I have 41 minus W times W equals 420. Now I'm going to distribute the W like so to get 41W minus W squared equals 420. Now I see I have a quadratic because one of the variables is to the second power. And when we have a quadratic, we want to set everything equal to 0 and then ideally factor if it's factorable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 420 from both sides first and foremost. So I've got 41W minus W squared minus 420 equals 0. Next, I usually like my W squared value to be positive, so I'm going to negate everything. I'm going to multiply everything by -1. So negative, positive, positive. Next, I'm going to reorganize this to put the W squared first. So I'm going to have W squared minus 41W plus 420 equals 0. Now we're going to factor. So if you remember, when we factor, what we do is we try and find two numbers that multiply to 420 and add to -41. There's a little bit of trial and error involved in this process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and think what can be multiplied to 420, what can add to 41, and the numbers that come to mind are 20 and 21. So it's going to be W minus 20, W minus 21. And the reason why they're both negative is because two negatives make a positive, two negatives add to -41. Now I see, since it's equal to 0, my solutions are whatever makes this binomial go to 0 and that binomial go to 0, which means my solutions are 20 and 21. And now we have to choose which one is the right answer for the width. Now, of course, this isn't necessarily true, meaning it isn't necessary that the width is smaller than the length, but in the way that I've drawn it, we're going to take the lesser value. In fact, both of these solutions would work, but we're going to take the lesser value, the 20 value, and assign that to the W. And then, of course, the length would be determined by either of these equations. We can plug 20 into either of them. Let's plug it into this one. 20L equals 420. Divide both sides by 20. Divide both sides by 20. And L equals 21, which you can see was that other solution right there. So the length is 21. Now, the second way we could have done this without using all that algebra is simply think about it and think about the fact that, wait a minute, all right, if I know that I've got 4 sides adding up to 82 and it's a rectangle, that means I got 2 sides adding up to 41. So we kind of get back in that same situation. What two numbers add to 41, but at the same time multiply to 420. So it ends up becoming the same question that we're asking here in the quadratic. I hope you enjoyed this math puzzle, and if you did, please click that like button. And if you want to see more math puzzles on the regular, make sure to click subscribe. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.